the fleeting amount of money to become a rich person is flying away from you. Flying away from you. Okay, I have something. I have something. I was fucked up last night, and I was talking to you guys about, hold on. Side hustle world. It's just the world right now where everybody is, I have a funny feeling that this like Gary V, like, how do I put this without sounding like a idiot? Because I do this all the time. And I just feel like I'm the stupidest guy in the world. But
let's walk through it. Let's get through it.
Okay. It's how convenient that everybody's so entrepreneurial and clean right now. Like
Clean, and what do you mean by clean?
Smoking cigarettes right now.
Okay.
Like I quit smoking cigarettes 2 months ago, right? I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, and I'm going to the gym and shit, right? I'm clean. I'm not alone. People do it every January. I got it, and they quit. And by like October, they're back to shooting foot. Okay, I got you. But everybody's pretty clean. They don't go on vacations. They don't smoke cigarettes, right? They're not wasting their money on dumb shit.
Well, cigarettes are a luxury that many people can't afford anymore.
Well, they are $15 a pack, and it's fair. 30 cents a cigarette's a lot of a rich day. But not as many people smoke as I. Like, I asked 10 people for cigarettes the other night when I was craving one. I was drunk. I was craving one wicked bad. And I just didn't get one. Damn. That's never happened to me in my life. I've always bummed cigarettes, and I am good at it. I know how to do it. And no one had them.
World's changing.
And I was at a bar with, like, drunk guys that looked like me. Like
there should have been a cigarette.
There's just, like the odds. I was like, this is not fun. Like, I'm gonna be up. Here comes my 2 months stint. It's over, and no one had one. And I was like, holy shit, no one. And then by the time I was already drunk driving home, I didn't feel like stopping at a gas station because anybody would have noticed that I would have ran the median over and probably took a pump out.
Indeed.
But anyway, this whole everybody is in this like, I got a side hustle. My wife sells things on eBay. I'm a stay-at-home dad, but I cut my neighbor's grass. I have a snowplow on my truck. You know what I mean? Like, I have a podcast. My landscaper has a podcast. Back in the day when you were just a bust out, you were just a bust out. Like you like in the commerce. So I'm obsessed with the amount of commerce that's going on now, right? Like I sold merch. You sold merch. We have a podcast. It's everybody though, and it's everywhere. Like you want to open a clothing line, it's easy. It's mad easy. But back in like 2007, right? When we met, when you were just like a deadbeat weirdo friend, the only commerce coming out of me that day was I bought a Mountain Dew at Cumberland Farms, which was so good. But like that was the day's spending.
Yeah.
Cumberland Farms was like, cha-ching, one thing.
$1.
$1.
Yeah.
Go back in the house and play a video game. Maybe you download a player pack. Maybe. I never did that, but maybe that was the thing. Now, it's just like...
You got, even if you're just playing games all day, you got your hat that you buy in the game, you got your weapons pack, your season pass, DLC, soundtrack.
You're buying a weird pair of tiger sweatpants you saw on Instagram because they got you. One of them's going to get you. You bought a 4,000 lumens light, like flashlight.
Yeah. It's a weird, it's a weird sort of combination of Web 2 reaching its like hyper commercial potential, like full saturation, every channel on max. Everybody knows exactly what they're doing. It's just the process of like, especially with advertising keywords, like targeted advertising and stuff, and like pop-up shops and Shopify and the ability to like open your own web store and stuff. Like all that stuff is kind of coalescing into like the pinnacle peak Web 2 commerce. So that's one part of it. And the other part is that like the economy in real terms, in terms of like your ability to be rich, financially free, your ability to like support a family, not even get rich, but just have like be set, like that type of thing. Like the what you would have done in the past is you would have wanted to have some sort of safe retirement vehicle, like a government bonds or something. You would have bought $1 million of government bonds, and you would have lived off of the dividend, the coupon from that, right? You would have had your $50,000 a year or whatever. Yeah. Which is not possible anymore. Like now, to get $50,000 a year, you need like
4 apartment houses,
20 million
Yeah.
government bond or whatever. All the stupid shit has gotten way easier, like Netflix, Prime, Amazon Prime Video, Disney, whatever. Like their ability to like take a movie from 20 years ago and like milk it and squeeze the jilk into your nipple as the end consumer and like make you pay $14.99 a month in like various different ways, so much so that you're paying like, you know, more than you did for cable 10 years ago.
And you're not even realizing.
Like you're not thinking like my Netflix and my Hulu and my Disney, they add up. But like all the stupid shit, like the streaming music, Chinese fashion, Chinese pop-up brands, all that shit, like the shit you really ultimately don't care about. Like it doesn't really matter. All that shit's getting cheaper. So there's this illusion of abundance. Like I can have so much cheap shit. Like this vitamin box case on Amazon was like from Jinxie.
Yeah.
Was like the brand, all capitals, Jinxie, and it was like $2.99. So you look at that and you're like, oh, vitamin box, $2.99 for 7 of them. That thing's cheap. My money goes a long way. My money, I'm stretching my dollar. It's going good. All this stupid crap, like the shoes that we're wearing.
Tons of them.
These boots were like $100. They're made in Vietnam. They should be more. They're made in Vietnam. They're crap.
I'm pretty frugal and I'm buying more shit. And it's not because I've never done that. But I'm buying more like, I'm like, got me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool t-shirt. Mm-hmm. Got me.
And the quality's like much lower. It's all garbage too. So,
but it's back to
the real terms,
the
like
commerce.
The stuff that matters, the healthcare, the education, the house, the stuff that actually matters that you need. That's all skyrocketing in terms of
the quality of what you're getting versus what you're paying for in a short amount of time. 2011 to now, two totally different things. Mm-hmm. The fleeting amount of money to become a rich person is flying away from you. Flying away from you. Like 10 million is the number. It was like 3.5 million is the magic number that, according to financial. Just so we're $3.5 million is the amount of money that you need to stop working. Just so you're all crystal clear. That's like you sit that in the bank. I mean, depending on what kind of life you want to live, of course. And I don't want to get into the particulars, but that's what your average financial advisor is going to tell you across the board. You're going to be making roughly 135,000, 180,000, depending on how rough you tumble back to yourself, where you can live, you pay your bills. Fine, okay, fine. But it's how many people that make above I'll say 65, because in the South you make less money. They just make less money, except Florida. But like 65,000 and above, all these my bosses, and that from like to like 600,000 to mid-level executive. All those guys are doing like the most right now. You know what I mean? They're clean. They're paying their bills on time. The credit is good. They're buying, and I'm not saying it's not going to backfire, but like how? And at the same time, you have like Dan Pena, right? You know Dan Pena? Show me your friends, I'll show you bums you hanging out with. That guy. So, like that guy, at the same time as a guy like Gary Vee, kind of like exposing the Amazon seller, eBayer world, right? It seems as though it's like a very controlled, perfect thing for a guy that's a financier. Well, or if you're a financier, or if you're at the head of commerce, you're like this. Yeah. You're loving this.
If e-commerce is how you make your bones.
But if e-commerce really is just really banking and then old banking money, they're like this. Go you work your side hustle. Like look at how many transactions for like my rat antique store. For like, hey, that comic made tickets. Like we went to a comedy show this week. I went to go see Shane. We bought beers through a app that was through PayPal, and it's like I get now. I get Bitcoin. Even more important now, when you really start to wrap your head, you're like, holy shit. No wonder why the transactions. Before it was like I went to the ATM and they had an ATM fee. Now we're talking about like gas fees per transactions, and Bitcoin starts to like make sense. If you're a hard like me, stepping into the digital world where you guys live, you brainiacs. For the first time, you see it as like, oh my God, this must be 10 times more transactions.
Well, it's all just neo-Nazi dog whistling. I mean, you saw it.
I saw it earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
But so mustard gas is not one. That's...
But I don't think it's necessarily a conspiratorial thing. I think it's just a combination of the Web 2 commerce tools getting better and the economy in real terms getting worse, which is forcing people into that side hustle type shit. Like the real jobs, the quality of those jobs in terms of like your quality of life that you have if you have one, and the amount of money you're able to sock away if you have one, and also just the availability of those jobs in general, that's all going down.
But like
it's just getting worse. And so it's making it so that you have to have your lemonade stand.
I don't know, man. That's the question. Probably.
You do. If you have any type of aspirations to be wealthy, you cannot be satisfied with a 9 to 5. You have to have some type of you have to have your lemonade stand. You have to.
Oh yeah. You're not
gonna have to.
Capitalism won't work where you could work your and they would pay you enough to stop. There's not because
it could if we back in the day without women in the workforce, if you just had men working, if you had if you didn't have jobs and jobs being exported to foreign countries and materials being imported from foreign countries, if you had a actual if the people at the top of the country cared about American labor, you would have people able to work and retire and save money and have houses and shit. And that's the way this country was.
I don't know. I think anybody can buy a house though right now. I think you can work at Amazon in the factory for $15 an hour and you can buy a house easily.
Oh, you can?
Yeah. I don't think that's the problem. I think it's more the success of the middle class is impossible. You're not going to make it out of the suburbs and you're never getting a boat.
Well, you don't need to make it out of the suburbs. You just need to have some.
I want to make it out of the suburbs.
What, to where? To the country?
I want my tri-deck yacht.
Yeah.
I want a yacht with 3 decks on it and help. Hello, Nick. How can I help you today? And I'm like this. If you look at me again, I'll wait till you fall asleep and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do. I hate when you look at me.
You're like Ellen DeGeneres?
Literally. I want to be like Ellen. I want to play games with people.
Yeah.
Time for the slingshot. You're like, what do you mean? I'm like, put the bungee cord on.
So you just want to torture underpaid.
Yeah, I want to dunk my interns in a big light, like a oversized glass of milk.
You can do that now, probably. You get some MDE fans. You get the guy with the Pueblo shirt and the hat.
Yeah, I'll get P-backs. P-backs there. He'll put his hat on, and he's like this. Remember when you guys did moms? I'm like, boink. I push him down a mega ramp on a skateboard with 3 wheels on it. I'm like, don't lean forward. There's only a wheel on the right.
Make him sit in a bobcat scoop.
And I drive him for a cross-country trip.
Yeah.
I drive him through Death Valley.
We're going to New Hampshire. Shut up.